Hello and welcome to Transmission. I'm Nate, and tonight I'm joined by Dale. Welcome.
Yes. Welcome. Thank you.
So welcome to Transmission. So look, let's talk a little bit about you, if that's okay. Is that all right?
To you.
Yeah, as opposed to me. I prefer it that way.
Okay. Yep.
So identify as a male, as a trans guy, as a...
It's hard. I suppose I out in society, people just look at me as like any other guy. But I suppose because it's become very popular to be trans, I'd have to be a trans guy.
Has it become popular?
It has. It's become very trendy to be trans, and that's our next T-shirt.
Yep.
But yeah, I suppose to get the word through to the people and to educate people, you have to come out and say you're trans. Because I could sit here all night and say I'm just an ordinary guy and I don't know why I'm here, and people would believe it.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. So I'm female to male trans. The person.
And so how long have you sort of been on that sort of your...
All my life. I knew that things weren't right at primary school, and I made a ward of state because I kept insisting that I was a boy, and mother couldn't cope with it, so she made me a ward of state, and the government couldn't cope with it and put me on all these silly programs about wearing dresses and cuddling men and stuff, but it just always stayed with me. So I'd have to say I've had gender dysphoria all my life. Yeah.
And so, I mean, because sort of going back a little bit of time, I suppose, so made a ward of the state, and what sort of programs did they try and...
Well, they didn't have any, so they made them up as they went along in the 70s, and basically, yes, to get men to cuddle me. I mean, they confused me with a lesbian, and I wasn't, and I kept saying I wasn't. So the staff were just as confused. So some of the top minds of Melbourne or whatever thought they knew what was going on, and thought you fix gender dysphoria by making the person wear the clothes appropriate to their gender and force them to do it day in, day out. Just makes it worse. Just makes you more rebellious and more angry. So had to live through all that. And of course, every time they turned their back, I'd go and do what I liked.
Yeah.
So football shorts under dresses was the call of the day, really, for me. But yeah. So you just... Because I had the freedom of being a ward estate and I lived on the streets, no one cared. I have no siblings or family or anything, so I got away with doing a lot of stuff that your average person couldn't do. I knew people, Fitzroy Street. I was there when with the women, with the male to female transgender people, with the women, lay girls, Bojang, all that. Yeah, so I grew up with transgender, really.
Yeah. So you almost grew up within sort of a trans sort of community in itself when it wasn't something that was really talked about or so much known.
Underneath all the drugs and alcohol, there was trans. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were gay. The gay clubs were just starting out. You had to know somebody who knew where it was and up elevators. And I mean, we've just had the Tasty apology. And I was very lucky because I didn't go that night. But I would have been the only guy in the room, sort of trans guy in the room, I'm sure. A few butch lesbians and what have you. But it was underneath the alcohol, the drugs, the heroin and all that. Underneath, there was a whole lot of people surviving in their gender as they saw it, and inappropriate to society. So we were this shadowy world. But of course, the main thing about transgender, being a transgender, you've got to look after yourself health-wise. You can't do the drugs, you can't do the alcohol. If you want to get to the end of it and have a good sort of outcome, you can't abuse your body. You need all the liver you can get.
It's true, because most of the hormones and stuff are...
Yeah, it's really rugged on your body, so you really need to be of good health. And I don't think that message is getting through. You can't do heroin and do the changes, we call it.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you started taking testosterone and things would have been a lot different than they are.
They were tablets. They were tablets. So I had a choice, alcohol, good time with friends, or tablets. and they do your liver. They do. That's why we don't have them anymore. So, but they were easily swappable. There was, I had my Make Me a Girl tablets given out, and some of the women had their Make Them a Boy tablets, and we just swap. So so I was on and off hormones a long time until the program officially accepted that the gender dysphoric hormone gene was not on the Y chromosome. Once that happened, life got better for us. So that was early 80s somewhere. Yeah.
So because there was the assumption that there was M to F, but there was nothing really.
No, it was a male thing. It was an English politician male thing to throw on a frock. That women wouldn't do it. They were just butch lesbians, confused.
Yeah. So I mean, I suppose you would have seen a lot of change within the community, a lot of change with sort of everything going through the last, few decades.
Yeah.
In terms of, because I mean, most people walking down the street would just look at you and just go, "Oh yeah, just a guy."
Another guy. Yeah.
Have you ever had any problems with that? With people just saying, "Oh yeah, you're just a guy," or?
I think a problem that we all have, but I experience it. I hate being an oddity, an amusement, and I say to somebody who doesn't know me too well, "Oh yes, I'm transgender," and they go, "Yeah, right," and we've all got to grow old. I mean, transgender doesn't mean Peter Pan go young.
Yeah,
we've all got to grow old, and old men look like me, but yeah, convincing, not that I have to convince people. I say I am. But medical people, I say, hold on, this is my medical history, and they either run away or they go, "Oh yes," and ask these inappropriate questions. Yeah, it's the inappropriate questions, "Oh, did you stick that beard on?" "Yeah, this morning," Inappropriate questions.
Yeah. Did you stick that beard on?
Of course.
Because I'm just thinking that, maybe I should go where you're going.
Yeah.
To get that one done.
Yeah. I always think, grow it, auction it, grow it again, auction it off.
Yeah. Why not? How long has it taken you to get that?
I shaved Christmas.
Okay, so a few good months.
Yeah.
And when did you first start to sort of get that, This is personal curiosity, obviously.
Well, you just go through puberty twice.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what time in your life you do it, you go through puberty once. I sort of didn't do puberty once very well at all. But as soon as you take the opposite gender hormones, you've got to do the 7 years. So I think it takes a good 7 years for a guy to grow a beard. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I've got the genetics to grow a beard.
Yeah.
Not every guy, whether they're trans or otherwise, can grow a beard. It's all in your genes. So yeah, I'm pretty fast growing fur.
Yeah.
But I suppose in my early 20s I always had at least a moustache and the sideys. And of course, what's that show, 90210? Oh, that had a big influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, unfortunately, we're running out of time.
We are.
But thank you so much for coming on and sharing a little bit of your story.
No worries.
So big thanks to Dale. You've been watching Transmission.